Do you stream on a Roku, a Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app. Watch Action News live.
The big story on Action News tonight.
Plus special programming, breaking news, and severe weather updates.
Tremendous amounts of rain.
Always on. Always the news team you trust. Watch 6ABC 24/7 on your streaming device. Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Welcome to the lifestyle segment of Women to Watch. I'm Cheri Morrison. Today I have the pleasure of introducing owner, farmer, and cheesemaker from Birchrun Hills Farm. Please say cheese to Sue Miller. Welcome to the show, Sue.
Hi, Cheri. Thanks for having me. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you. Sue and I have worked a little bit together over the years especially when I was at Cheri Morrison State Vineyard and Winery, doing some wine and cheese pairings. We had some great fun. So Sue has been in the suburbs of Philadelphia, enjoying nature and being creative her entire life. Sue, please tell us a little bit about growing up in Chester County.
Yeah, I grew up in northern Chester County, and I still live in northern Chester County in the Chester Springs area. My mother, I think, really fancied herself as kind of getting back to the land. And we grew up half a mile back a dirt road and just had this incredible upbringing there. You know, it was a little wild and woolly, if you could say, out with animals. I was in 4-H. We had piglets and chickens and sheep. As I was a teenager, I really was interested in horses and worked at a lot of local stables, and really just have always felt this connection to animals.
Yeah. It's a fun experience. I was fortunate. I didn't have all the animals, but I did grow up in an area that was similar to that, with the open surroundings and just enjoying nature and making it a big part of your life, and being creative with, all the different elements that are right at your fingertips, not depending on a computer to keep you entertained. There was nothing that brought you back to the house at the end of the day except for darkness and dinner.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yep. So after college, you met your husband, Ken. And from the sounds of it, the two of you were a perfect match. Which came first, loving the animals or Ken?
Well, that's a question. He did come first, but we did meet over animals. He came and visited with me at a horse show of all things, which was really fun. And he had an interesting upbringing too. His father was a school teacher, and he didn't grow up on a dairy farm. But from the moment he could walk and talk, all he wanted to do was be a farmer. I mean, everybody in the community knew that, whether it was his teachers or the neighbors or, folks at church, they knew that that's what Ken wanted to do. And so when I met him, he was milking cows, and I thought, this is a perfect life. In fact, my mother said to me, this is the life you were meant to live. So which came first? I don't know. I think it's a win-win no matter what, when it comes to cows or Ken.
I think you're right. So as the big cheese maker, you do not stand alone. This farm and business is a family affair. You shared a few stories about how this was all meant to be. And now your two sons, they both attended Cornell and are interested in continuing and building a bigger future for the farm. Please tell us a little bit more about your family heritage and the development of Birchrun Hills Farm.
Yeah, as Ken and I were, raising our family with our two kids, Randy and Jesse, our whole life centered around the farm. So everything that was farm focused, our kids went along. We never ate dinner unless we ate it together. And so that meant many times we were in the field or at a tractor or, up at the barn. And I would just pack up dinner, and the kids would go with me, and we'd lay out a picnic, and we would always eat our meals together. They were privy to, the triumphs of farming, the challenges of farming. They saw it all. They saw the challenges of hard weather years, but also the beauty of, say, a calf being born on Christmas Day. They were right there by our sides. So when they came back to us while they were in college, each at different times of their college career, to say they wanted to come back and work with us on the farm, they knew all that was involved in it. So that was really exciting for my husband and I to really be able to welcome the next generation and kind of help facilitate this new vision for our family farm. Listen, we had been struggling for many years as first generation dairy farmers. Listen, the dairy industry is tough. So are so many small businesses, right? So we used to be fairly conventional and just ship our milk to our local cooperative, which was Land O'Lakes. And we found that it became so challenging to make ends meet. We'd have short highs in milk prices that sort of would carry us for these long lows. And so my husband went on a trip to New Mexico to visit large dairies out there. And he came back and he said, I feel like I've really seen a big part of the future of dairy farming, and it really doesn't suit us. We live in this little hilly area of northern Chester County with beautiful verdant pastures and rolling hills and fertile farmland, but we can't expand into infinity, and nor did we want to. So I literally woke up one morning and I thought, I'm going to learn how to make cheese. And so I took a cheese making class with a cheesemaker from Vermont. His name is Peter Dixon. He and his wife, Rachel, have their own cheese making operation up there called Parish Hill Creamery. But he is a man who is so giving with his knowledge. I often think of him kind of like the Johnny Appleseed of cheese making. He is all over the United States teaching farmers and artisans how to make cheese. So I took this class with him, and we were able to get started on a small, quirky rented facility 4 miles down the road from our farm. So our kids saw that there was some sort of potential as we had continued to slowly grow and nurture this business of cheese making here at Birchrun Hills Farm.
Yeah. With like you said, with the communities transitioning and developing, losing the farmland and the sources for feed, it's challenging. I'm sure there are many people out there who think all you need to make cheese is milk, but you are completely self-contained, as many of the cheese and dairy farms are. It's not just about making cheese and milk. You're growing all of the crops and the feed to feed the cows. You're up to, I think you said 80 heads of Holstein right now.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cows to take care of and feed. And if you don't have all of that land right at your fingertips, now you have to go out and either find somebody to grow the crops for you and buy them for you, or you sublet your own land out for somebody to take care of because you don't have the labor to do it yourself. It's a really, really difficult situation. And how fortunate for you to wake up and realize that making cheese was going to make a huge difference for you. How did you think that was going to help you save the farm? Like, what does cheese do for you that is so changing to your culture?
Well, it really allows us to take this milk that is such a part of what we do here. We're so connected to the land and caring for the soil, and this is actually really influential in the quality of the milk and the outcome of the cheese, because
Right.
nurturing the soil, we're growing these beautiful crops that translate into the nutrition for the cows. We're feeding the cows, we're caring for them. We're milking them every day, and then we're taking that milk and transforming it into this beautiful cheese. And that allows us to really add value to the milk. Before, when we shipped our milk out on the milk truck, we weren't in charge of how, that milk was going to be marketed. It was co-mixed with milk from all over, and that was fine. But we needed to get a higher value. So we saw that we had this great land where we live. We have these amazing herd of cows. We love to care for them, and we really enjoy making cheese. And I love people. So I love bringing that cheese out to people to share with them what we really do with the land when you think about it in these beautiful cheeses. And, like how we would have so much fun pairing cheese and wine. I think sometimes people can be intimidated by that. But really, if it tastes good to you, it should fill you up.
No, people are intimidated by tastings. A lot of people won't attend a wine tasting or a cheese tasting because they feel like they don't know anything. But if you have a good product and you have a good teacher and an experience that explains it to them on layman's terms, I've done wine tastings where people know nothing, and they're so scared when they get in there and they're tasting the wine. It's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to taste. And it was like, you taste what you like. Doesn't really matter. Everybody tastes something different. There's no right or wrong or a black or a white answer to any of it. So just enjoy the experience and love it. It's such a great story that you have about pivoting and transitioning your farm. And you make such a beautiful assortment of cheeses that are available all around Philadelphia. The surrounding areas, top restaurants, retail stores like the Bruno Brothers, Kimberton Whole Foods, a lot of different markets. I don't know if you're in Wegmans or not, but you have been extremely involved not only with making cheese, but with the whole community. You're president of the Pennsylvania Cheese Guild, among other organizations, and just the maturity of your beautiful facility and what it can be used for. You're using it for team building, corporate and private events. You have cheese tastings. And what a fabulous experience to be able to enjoy the cheese right there overlooking the beautiful farmland right next to the gorgeous, huge brown-eyed cows. What can get any better than that? Explain about some of the different programs that you do.
Yeah, it's always wonderful to have people at the farm, Cheri. We do a lot of farmers markets, so we meet people at farmers markets in the region as well. But the ultimate is having folks come right here to the farm. On Friday afternoons, we started doing this fun pop-up and happy hour. We have a local winemaker here who brings wine down, and we make a curated cheese plate every week. And people can come, and everything's transparent. They're sitting here. They can visit with the cows. They can see how they're cared for. They can see the fields where they're grazing and across the valley at fields that we've been farming for years. And then they can sit here and eat the cheese. And I feel like there's such a deep appreciation for this agricultural product. It can't be overlooked. You can't just say, oh, well, cheese comes from the grocery store or it comes from Europe, because it's actually, when you come to the farm, you see that the cows are here. My family's here. We're caring for it, and we're bringing it right out to share with people. And that is a pretty joyful experience for a dairy farmer, because, it's 24/7, no matter what. We're here working. There's no days off. The cows keep going no matter what.
Yeah, you're probably in your 10th hour for today already, or 11th hour of working, not just awake, but working. And I love some of the names of the different cheeses that you have. Everybody look for the Fat Cat, the Red Cat, Ola, Little Shardy when you go to the stores. So they have wonderful qualities. They're delicious. They're known all over the area as being high quality cheese. So don't ever think that you can only get great cheese in Vermont or from Europe. It's right here in Pennsylvania. There's so much we can talk about making cheese, how it's affected by the weather, ingredients, science, your intuition, making it yours, which is so much like winemaking. It's about the quality of the ingredients and the terroir, or the land. Thank you, Sue, for joining us. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you for your time, your talent, and your education. I hope you'll join us again sometime.
Thanks for having me. Consider me your cheese gal.
You got it. To learn more about Sue, Birchrun Hills Farm, events, visiting, learning all about cheese making, locations to purchase their products or order online, go to www.birchrunhillsfarm.com. Sue will be right back after to close out the show. Ladies, keep living your dreams.
Action News, celebrating 50 years with AccuWeather.
The heat is on. In 2010, Philadelphia had a record of 55 days at or over 90 degrees. And those scorchers, they're on the rise. In fact, 10 of the 15 hottest summers occurred in the last 2 decades. Thank you for always trusting us to keep you informed.
You're streaming and we're streaming. Get the AccuWeather forecast and severe storm alerts 24/7 on our 6 ABC streaming app.